Hey guys, it's Hannah, and today I actually have a video that I'm going to be sitting down and talking. I'm not going to be doing one of my 1-minute tutorials, which, don't get me wrong, I love doing those, but I did want to do something where I can sit down and actually explain what I'm doing and why I'm doing it and all that kind of thing. So today's look that I have planned out in my head, I don't know exactly how it's going to go on, but this has been pretty much inspired by Kylie Jenner's new weather collection. And I've been watching a couple videos of people doing looks that have like the blues and yellows in them. So I had an idea. I actually was going through some of my old palettes, and I have this Urban Decay Vice Reloaded palette. And unfortunately I can't get this palette anymore, but I did look on Urban Decay's website at some of their individual shadows to see if they had any of these shades, which I couldn't find exactly some of them. They did have like a couple of them, but the specific like blue shades that I want to use I couldn't find. But they have like 96 individual shadows, and they have tons of blue colors, so you can pretty easily find ones that are going to match the ones that I'll use today. So yeah, I was going through my palettes and I saw that this one had like a bunch of pretty cool colors, so I was like, alright, I guess maybe I'll use this one and kind of do a more colorful look, since I usually do like warm tones or like orangey, like burgundy kind of things. So I figured I would do something a little bit different and play around with some color. So this is going to be like a full face tutorial, but I'm just going to be using kind of what I like to use every day, like for foundation, concealer, all that kind of stuff. Earlier today I just went ahead and put on this Master Prime Primer Base Hydrate and Smooth at number 50 by Maybelline, and I'd actually use this as my moisturizer. And I will use that as a primer sometimes too, but my skin was really dry because I had washed it earlier, so I really like to use this just as my everyday moisturizer. And then I exfoliated my lips with the Jeffree Star Velour Lip Balm, and this is in Watermelon Gum, and guys, this is amazing. Like, it's so good. And then, just another step on top of that, I put on a plumping lip gloss, which has also pretty much sunken into my skin, and I just used the Too Faced Lip Injection Extreme gloss. So that's what I've already done so far. And now we're going to get into primer. So for my primer, I'm going to be taking the L'Oreal Infallible Glow Lock number 130. And this primer, it's like an illuminating base. So you can see here, it does have a little bit of like a sheen to it, and I actually really like that because I have pretty dry and like kind of dull skin, so I like to use something that has a little bit more illuminatingness. Does that make sense? And on my under eyes, I actually have this like little tiny sample of this Smashbox under eye primer. And then I always like to prime my eyes just while I'm doing kind of like the base of everything. So I'm just going to be taking the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion in the shade Original. For my foundation today, I'm actually going to be taking two foundations. Both of them are by Wet n Wild. First, I'm going to take the Wet n Wild Photofocus foundation in the shade Porcelain. It just looks like this. It's really good. It's in like a glass bottle. I'm not super crazy about the applicator. It's kind of like this paddle looking thing, and the foundation itself is pretty liquidy, but that's not too bad. It actually blends out really, really nice. The shade just happens to be a little bit too light for me, and this shade happens to be a little bit too dark. This is the Wet n Wild Cushion Foundation. Sorry if the camera looks, like the angle looks different or anything. My card actually got full, so I had to like delete a couple things, so I had to move around the camera, but don't mind that. I was just talking about the Cushion Foundation, and I really like this foundation, but as you can see, the color is way too dark for my skin, so I just like to mix these two formulas together because I actually really like both of them and they go on pretty smooth. So what I like to do first is just take the Wet n Wild and then just kind of dot it around my face. The Cushion Foundation comes with one of these little sponges, but I just like to go in with my beauty blender and like stamp it in. And I'll just pick up a little bit and then just start to blend it out. Next up for my concealer, I'm just going to be taking the Wet n Wild Photofocus in the shade Light Ivory. I really just use this one under my eyes because it does have pretty good coverage. under my eyes and on my chin is kind of where I need the most coverage, so I'll just do it in those spots. And then I'll take the NYX HD Studio Photogenic Concealer in the shade CW00. It actually creases a little bit under my eyes, so I don't really like to use that for under my eyes. But I'll just lighten up with it. And then same thing, I'll just go in with my sponge and blend it out. And just to make sure that my entire base underneath is smooth, I like to take one of these little paddle brushes and then just kind of go over and blend everything like down my neck. For my powder, I just take the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte, and this is in the shade number 300 Nude Beige. I'll take my Morphe M438, which is kind of like this angled, I think it's like you can use it as a contour brush, and pat it under my eye. And then I'm going to be taking the AOA Studio, it's just this big, like, fluffy brush, and I'll powder, like, I'll go over my eyes, and then just really gently around the rest of my face. Alright, so I'm just going to be doing the rest of my face makeup with a couple of different powders. So I'm going to start off with my bronzer. I'm going to be taking the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. This is really, really nice. It just looks like this. I'm just going to go in with this BH Cosmetics number 124 brush. It's kind of just like this dense brush. You'll also use this for powder, but I like to use it for bronzer. Next, I'm going to take this Lorac blush in the shade Technicolor. And this is just one of their Buildable matte blushes, and it's like this really pretty kind of like a peachy coral shade. And to apply this, I just take this brush from BH Cosmetics, which is the 125. Then for highlight, we have the Ofra highlighter in the shade Rodeo Drive. And I love Ofra highlighters. They're like crazy pigmented. I'll show you. Like, do you see that? I'm just going to apply this with this little Japanesque highlighting brush. So for my brows, I switch between a bunch of different products, but today I'm going to be taking the Dip Brow. Mine is like really, really old, and like I've used it a ton, and it's kind of dried out. For my brows, I just take this little Essence eyeliner angled brush, and then I like to start kind of beneath my brows and just like lift it a little bit. So I just went ahead and zoomed in for you guys so you can actually see what I'm doing. What I like to do is just take on this little brush and kind of like arch my eyebrows just so it's easier. And then make some little strokes here. And then I go in and start working on the top. Just like that. So it doesn't really take me much time to do my brows since I already have like a pretty defined shape. It's just more so filling them in and darkening them. Alright, so once I get the color on my brows, I'm just going to take this little spoolie from AOA Studio, and I just like to blend it out. Okay, so I just went in and filled in the other eyebrow. For my eyes, I'm going to start off with the Urban Decay palette. I'm going to take the shade Anonymous right here and put that all over my lid. Alright, then just as a transition shade, I'm going to take this color right here called Laced. It's just sort of like a pinky beige neutral color, just to make sure that the darker colors blend in a little bit easier and nicer. Because the more colors you add to transition, the smoother your shadows are going to all blend together. I'm going to take this color right here. It's called UVB, and it's like this sort of purple to blue duochrome. This is the shade UVB swatched on my hand. I'm just going to start patting that on my outer edge. So that is kind of disappointing, if I'm being honest. So it doesn't look too bad on camera, but in person it definitely looks a little bit sad. But maybe if I go in with like one of those blending brushes, I can try and build it up and blend it out. You can see, like, no matter how much I'm putting on, it's kind of just like not getting any more build up. Okay, so I'm back. I actually just took off the blue that I had on earlier. I reprimed my eyes, repowdered, and then I just went ahead and put on Anonymous and then laced like I did earlier. Now instead I'm going to be creating a look using the Tarlette palette. I'm going to take this color right here called Natural Beauty and working that through the crease. I literally used to do this every single day in my junior year of high school. I would put Supermom, which is just like this plain cream, all over my lid, and then I take Natural Beauty, run it through the crease, and that would be my look. Then I'm going to take this shade right here called Best Friend. I'm going to bring it all the way towards my inner corner because I'm going to do a halo eye today. I'm going to use this little Morphe M507. It's this kind of little tiny brush. I'm going to go with the color right here called Bombshell from the Tarte palette. I'm just going to pick up a little bit of that and really focus it just on the outer edge, that inner corner as well. Just because I'm getting quite a bit of fallout, I'm just going to take that Kat Von D powder and place this under my eyes just so it'll be easier to wipe away all the excess powder after. Now what I'm going to do is just apply it to the other eye, and then we'll get started with the halo effect that I wanted to create. Alright, so I just went ahead and did pretty much the same thing to the other eye. So I'm actually going to go in and just take that Photofocus concealer and put a little bit on the back of my hand. I'm going to be using this little Real Techniques brush. I'm going to pick up a little bit of the concealer from the back of my hand and just cut the center. Alright, so I just cut the center of this eye and then this one also. It doesn't matter if one eye looks like a little bit messy because once you put the shimmer on, it's all just kind of blend together and just look really nice. Also, I'm just going to take this Sonia Kashuk brush and brush away that powder from under my eyes. I'm going to be taking the Anastasia Beverly Hills Aurora Glow Kit and grabbing the shade Spectra. I just picked some of it up on the eyeshadow C brush from e.l.f. You can see I have a little bit on, but it's not as pigmented. I'm going to go into the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette and take this purple color right here called Peach Pit on that same eyeshadow C brush and pack that on the lid. So you can see that actually looks really, really pretty layered on top of that highlighter because there's definitely still a little bit of a shift. So I think that the look that I have created is actually really, really pretty. I definitely used a ton of palettes. I used the Tarlette palette, the Aurora palette, and then the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. But overall, I think it created a pretty nice look. So I'm going to go on and curl my lashes and apply a little bit of mascara. For my mascara, I'm just taking the Tarte Lights Camera Lashes. This has a pretty nice wand. It adds a lot of volume and length to your lashes, and that's why I actually really like this mascara a lot. For my lips, I'm just going to keep it pretty neutral. I'm going to use this Anastasia Beverly Hills liquid lipstick, and this is in the shade Ashton. It's just kind of this really nice browny nude color. Also, you can see that the look really comes together once I have mascara and everything on, and it looks like a little bit more normal. So I actually feel like I don't really like the whole combo with this eye and this lip, so I'm gonna go and take the shade Naked, also from Anastasia Beverly Hills, which is a really nude color, and kind of blend that. And then lastly, just to finish off the whole purple look that we have going on, I'm going to go in and take that Aurora Glow Kit and grab a little bit of Spectra on my highlighting brush and apply this to my cheeks. So I don't know if you guys can see, but it has that really pretty purple to pink tint, and yeah. Okay, you guys, so this is the finished look. It took us a while to get there, but I definitely think that it was worth it because I love this. And I'll definitely do this eye look again because I actually haven't used my Tarte palette in a really long time, so it was kind of nice to like bring it back and like use some of the shades that like I always used to use while also incorporating new things like that glow kit and just kind of creating a really nice look. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and be sure to subscribe, like my video, and check out some of the other little tutorials that I made on my channel. Bye!